Producer Bill is safely ensconced in the inner sanctum. I am in the bunker, and the reason for that is on a need to know basis. So we'll just leave it at that. I do have game of
I'll
the
tell
week.
you one thing. I will tell you one thing today. The traffic on 31 is brutal.
Oh, is it really?
Oh, the trucks going in and out of my crown. It's at 10:30 this morning. It looked like a parade of construction trucks up 31. It's all you could see were the tops of construction trucks.
There is a back way that I can go to get to the inner sanctum if I need to, and it avoids 31. So I do have a Yahoo of the week, and I understand that teenagers and kids nowadays face stresses that even you never really had to face, and certainly I never had to face with all this technology. But if you go to the University of Michigan and you attend the College of Literature, Science, and the Arts as a freshman, no longer will you be given a numerical grade or even a letter grade. It's just going to be pass or no credit. It's not even pass fail, it's pass no credit. So, I looked in, I was like, why? Well, they don't want to affect the mental health of incoming freshmen. So it's just pass or no credit.
I don't know.
No.
I don't get it.
No.
I see it. I have a 14-year-old. She is going into the 9th grade, and I don't know, man.
I can't wait
And
to hear about this. The high school experience is just going to be, I can't wait.
Oh, all of these kids. Well, this generation are the COVID. It's the COVID class.
Right.
So for 2 years, they didn't do anything anyways.
That's true.
Really?
Yeah, that's very true. I wonder if they're doing like studies or something on that, or at least keeping an eye on that generation to see how they were affected, both
Yeah.
socially, and academically. Because for 2 years they were basically not allowed to socialize with anybody, and those are formative years for doing that.
And the socialization skills are at a minimum with these
Right.
children.
Anyway, because of screen, right?
Yeah.
There's no person-to-person stuff anymore, which is really a shame.
And now I saw an article that the school districts are going to up the screen time on some of the school districts.
I saw the headline. I didn't read that. What's that about?
I don't know. It was a blog. It was through Syracuse.com, so I couldn't see the article, but and I get it, technology, and there's some that are still advocating for more teaching through these devices because that's the way of the future.
Oh, and they're getting more, and kids nowadays are getting more and more used to it, I guess.
You know, we got to have on those guys that just opened up that podcasting studio in the old Spaghetti Warehouse.
I haven't heard
They opened up a full, huge CNY. I can't remember the name of it, but they opened up a big technology podcasting classing so people can learn and podcast from their offices. We should have him on. He's like a tech dude.
Yeah, absolutely. I hadn't heard about this.
Yeah.
Would they have like studios for people to use?
Yep, they bought the old Spaghetti Warehouse building.
Yeah, that's a big building. They bought the whole building?
Or where that space was. That's space.
Close, right? Spaghetti Warehouse is closed, right?
Gone. Yeah.
Isn't there like a comic shop or something down there?
Right next door.
Yeah, it's interesting. Wow, I had not heard that. That's smart, though. Very smart. So people who don't have equipment and stuff or can't make that kind of commitment, they can, I'm sure for a fee, go there and podcast. Wow.
And they have different rooms, and like they use the trolley in the middle of the thing for, remember I had the trolley?
Yeah, sure.
That was a very unique space inside of it.
Yeah, it was. Yep.
The food was atrocious. But
in the beginning, I mean, early on it was good, and then
but then it just turned into
life. It was awful. Yeah,
corporate slop.
Yeah, awful, really bad.
Oh, we have the mayor here.
Excellent. So, Bill, you came up with this idea. So, explain what this is, and then introduce our guest.
So, I thought we talk a lot of times when you go on a bigger scale, it turns more negative than positive. Whether you talk about big cities and counties, there's always blah, blah, blah going on. But whenever we go into the small towns and villages, it's such a positive experience. Like we had on the mayor of Solvay.
Right.
And they have so much stuff good going on. North Syracuse, so much good going on. Liverpool, well, one of the villages, um, Manoa has so much new and so small, and people don't know about it.
Mhm.
I thought getting in some of these little, mayors and supervisors and stuff just to tell people, look what we've got.
Right.
They have
Absolutely.
new restaurants opening up, and we got the mayor of the village of Manoa, Brazil, is
Yes.
on the show with us today. And Mayor, I'm friends with Jen Wood, the owner of Trappers down there, so I'm at Trappers a lot, and she just opened up a new spot right down the way, and it just seems like that little area of Manoa it's rising more than it has in the past.
Yeah, that's true. We took advantage of the Main Street initiative that the county started about 4 years ago. And, Ryan and the county leads had money to help small villages and towns like you're talking about. And the thing is, the county, Ryan McMahon started with saying, putting together a comprehensive plan for the county. It doesn't make sense if our villages and towns, because that's where it starts. That's where people live. And so that they knew you have to have vibrant towns and villages to have a great county. And we took advantage of a lot of that. We had some empty buildings. We had a couple of businesses here and there. But just like I always tell people when they see me on the street, they want to thank me. And I said, the people you got to thank are our business owners, because I dangled a carrot, they took the bite. They invested in this village, and they believe in this village and where we're going. And the money that they received, they had to spend money to get the money.
Right.
And they invest, a small business in our little village invests in $25,000, $30,000, $40,000. That's a lot. And I always tell people, make sure you support our businesses or they won't be here. And I have to say, I had some of the greatest business owners. I mean, to deal with Jen Wood, you mentioned her, John and Christina Hodges, who opened up our tea shop, our coffee cafe. And these people just believe in this village. They want to do things for the village. I can't stop smiling when I walk down the street, because everything is just, I hate calling it a rebirth or being reborn. We were always here, but really it's vibrant. There's a great attitude in our village. We host a lot of different events. Every Friday night we have a car show with live music in our gazebo. On a good night, it brings 50 to 60 cars, plus the neighborhoods come out to see the music. And it brings people from out of our area that follow these bands and hear about what we're doing. And last week, 2 weeks ago, it was unbelievable, because the band really brought in some people, and they're from Liverpool, Cicero, wherever. And they're just like, wow, what a great village. We never realized, because I always say we're the best kept secret out there in the county. Manola's not on your way to somewhere.
That's right.
You really have to come through here. Like if you want to go to Fayetteville, there's easier ways than coming through Manoa to get there.
Right.
But we're part of the town of Manlius. And, the thing in the beginning when I first got involved with being a mayor, being deputy mayor, is that I'd be speaking at events in our town, and people up in Manlius go, Manoa, where's Manoa? And I'd be like, are you kidding me? It's in our town. It's just to the north. On the other side of the canal, it's Manoa, and we're a great bedroom community. But, so I got into saying a catchphrase that turned into what we're all about. I would tell people, hello, I'm Bill Brazil. I'm from the village of Manoa. And for those of you that don't know where that is, tonight, take a look at the north of the town. You're going to see a bright light. That's Manoa, and we're shining brightly. Well, this shining brightly thing sort of took off on its own. And now today, everyone, if Ryan McMahon's in the village or anyone, they're like, well, we know, Bill, you're shining brightly, because, it's just become my motto or whatever. As a matter of fact, we're having new welcome signs made. And, welcome to Manoa, established 1913, shining brightly. So, and that's really, I feel, what our village is doing. I've lived here since I was 8 years old, and wow. I've seen a lot of different things in our village. And to be in this position and to be able to see all these great things that are happening is just, I love it. I can't.
And that's the one good thing about the small town. You are friends with the mayor. You know, it's I've known the mayor for 30 years. Everybody knows the mayor.
Right. Yeah, that's so true. It's and you know, a lot of the people too, they saw me as a little kid, they see me grow up. I'm
Right.
67 today. So I mean, some of those people, God bless them, they're not here any longer. But you know, I just had a passion for it, and since I retired from my full-time job 4 years ago, and now this is what I do full-time. I get up every morning. I'm in my office at 8, and I have a lot of things I'm involved with. I'm also president of the New York Conference of Mayors now.
Oh,
Which is,
wow.
you know,
Congratulations.
NICOM, and so I'm traveling a lot throughout our state, and I have a lot of different things we do as NICOM.
Mhm.
You know, we're a huge lobbying group for all the mayors and
Sure.
municipalities, and for cities and villages that have mayors. So it's been a goal of mine. I've been part of NICOM for 24 years now, so it was something I wanted to shoot for, and I was nominated president, accepted it in May. They had a big ceremony and everything.
You know,
So,
Mayor, it's interesting that you mentioned the county's program to beautify things. When people, you know, are in an environment that's more pleasing to the eye and better, you know, kept, they're more likely to get involved. And I think that that's what the program was about, and it's worked in so many little villages that look much better now after having, like you said, they have to invest too, and the county gives them money, but that's really turned around a lot of little villages, little
oh,
towns.
it has. You know, I look out through all our villages in the county. You know, Marcellus, North Syracuse, you mentioned Liverpool, even Manlius and Fayetteville have done some incredible things. You know, they're a little bit different than us, but God, I mean, our town as a whole, the town of Manlius is just looking unbelievable. What
It is. You're right.
one of our villages have done, you know.
Yep.
And we
Well,
all sort of feed off each other on different events we have. We try not to, you know, have them on the same days. Make
Right.
sure we all know when each other's having their event. So works out good.
Well, we appreciate your time, and like I said, we're going to do a tour of this of the towns and villages, especially in the area, the mayors, and find out what's going on. Manoa is really coming back to life, if you want to put it that way. But I know you're very proud of that, and you should be, and we appreciate your time today.
Well, absolutely. Thanks for having me. And really, if you guys are ever here, please look me up. We'll go down, have a cup of coffee, or we can go over to Trappers, Goodwood. We got a lot of things going on.
Absolutely.
So I'd love to
Next
take
time
you
I'm
guys out and show you around.
Next time I'm at Trappers, I'll email you.
Yeah, do that. I'd love to see you.
Thanks,
Well, thanks
Mayor.
for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're
No
welcome.
problem.
That's great. Yeah, so that's a great feature, man. I'm glad you came up with that, because they should be proud of their towns, right? Their villages. Got to say villages, not towns. So, and they do look better. I mean, the thing that really it was, I didn't like it at first, but Manlius had to take out all the trees
Yeah.
that lined the street. But they cleaned everything up, planted more trees. So I mean, they'll grow, but boy, that kind of hurt. But it looks good. I mean, Manlius looks great. Every place that's used the money really has cleaned up, because the business owners do have to invest too. You're not just taking the money and that's it. You know, we're giving you a bunch of money. No, you got to invest money too, and then they'll match it or whatever. But it's great.
And even what now, like I said, I don't go too far into there, but at Trappers, even she built out nice big deck on the back. Very family oriented place is Trappers. It's very much like the Wildcat in Camillus.
Oh yeah,
Team oriented families. There's always kids in there.
yeah.
It's a pizza pub, great food, everything very reasonably priced.
We'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
And I think that Manoa itself, it's like the mayor said, it's not on the way to anywhere really. So that makes it difficult, and you have to have places that want to draw people to you. So,
and I hear a lot of people. I'm so sick of the same places. Well,
yeah, it's true. Look around. You know,
look around.
Drive a little bit. I guess we need to do Marcellus too.
Yeah,
because they've got some stuff going on there too. In fact, I'm going to go out to one of the big farm stands out there on Saturday. Shalene and I'll go out there.
You're into this farm stand thing. I like it.
Yeah, because I grow my own stuff. Shalene and I grow vegetables here, and if we're going to get more, then I want to go and get it from a family farmer or somebody that a family that just does this, a farm stand or something. It's hard work, man. Man, it's
I
really
get a
hard.
kick when I'm traveling outside and back roads and stuff. I see a lot of the little wooden stands
Yes,
with just like little buckets of cucumbers
absolutely.
and stuff with a box there that you just throw the money in and take the stuff.
Yes, definitely. So those are the types of people that I want to get our
Yep.
stuff from,
Yep.
instead of the grocery store. I mean, these people are just trying to make a living, especially nowadays. And the stuff's better anyways, fresher. It's right there. They just picked it. So yeah, definitely take a ride. Because I put something on Facebook and a lot of people recommended this place in Marcellus, Oliver's or something like that. So we'll go out there and I'll let you know next pod
Cool.
how it was. So maybe we'll try to Shalene and I'll do a little tour. We'll probably end up there. He is. There's a bark dog. There's Chipper.
The UPS guy just came.
There's Bark.
That's a good cue to go to our first recorded interview of the day. Yeah. So
Right,
to preface this before anybody, and there was some news that has come out since this interview with the district attorney. So don't be disappointed. We didn't get to end the whole the case with a 3-year-old. We didn't get into that. We didn't get into any kind of
No.
cases. So this is it's a very lighthearted interview with the district attorney about his future. But I know some stuff has happened since which we only did this interview on Monday afternoon. So we will get him on for that other stuff. But here's our district attorney.
Fitz, you decided to give it another go, even though you said you wouldn't. And I remember talking about this last time and why, reasons last time you ran. So what are the reasons this time?
I don't think it's anything more complicated than I was probably precipitous 3.5 years ago, and I just changed my mind. I thought I would feel a certain way today that I just don't feel. I'm like ready to give it up. I think the worst thing you can do in public service is stay too long. And my buddy Joe Hines is an example of that. He passed away a number of years ago, but Joe was a great mentor to me. And he the demographics and the tide were changing in Brooklyn. He was maybe the most innovative prosecutor I ever met, but it was time for him to go. I just don't get that sense. I shop at Wegmans once a week every Sunday morning, and I usually come home and I tell my wife, hey, 2 people told me to drop dead today. Things aren't looking good, but the Wegmans barometer is good. I get a lot of people stop me and say, yeah, absolutely run one more time. My union buddies want me to run one more time. Most of the responsible members of the defense bar want me to run again. And most importantly, I want to run again. I just feel like it's who I am. And it's tough to say, okay, I'm retired and I have to do what? What am I going to do? I've defended criminals in the past. I was in private practice. It was very lucrative. My house doubled in size. So did my payroll, but it's just not me. I mean, I guess I don't see myself walking into court and looking at a jury straight in the eye and say, Bob Newlander, this is an outrage. He didn't harm it. He wouldn't harm a fly. It's so and part of it too is the Utica cases. Just the experience I had with that. I was very, very satisfied with the results that we got. We took 28 inmates to indictment, convicted 26 of them. All of them were fired. Even the ones that were acquitted were successfully fired based on the evidence that we produced. And I don't know that a lot of other prosecutors could have got that result. Certainly
I don't either. I agree completely. And people think that, they got fired. Firing an officer like that with their union and how strong they are is a very, very difficult thing. So to get them fired alone is an accomplishment. So, when I knew you were coming on and I knew we were going to talk to you again, I thought about the same thing that you did. I thought about if, DA is who he is. There are just some people who are like that. DA is who he is. And when Joni was county executive, county executive was who Joni was. You know what I mean? So, and that's
Yeah.
you all over. And that's what you've always been consistent every time that you've run as to why you're running and why you're not stepping away. Now, I know you had a young staff, including your daughter at the DA's office. Is that still
Right.
the case? Does it still need shepherding through?
Yeah, it's a young office. I asked the kid the other day why he wasn't, staying late to work on a homicide case, and he said he had Pilates. And, I said, call your doctor, take an antibiotic, and you'll feel better in the morning. But get your ass back and until this case is solved. So I got to deal with these guys. I don't want to be a dinosaur to them, but there's something to be said for experience and wisdom, which I think I
Yes.
have.
Yes,
And,
you do. In
it's
abundance, for sure. That's hilarious. Who's the least person you should say that I have Pilates class to in this?
yeah.
Patrick.
I mean, I remember when you remember Dickie Walsh. When I got called out on a homicide as an assistant DA, I would say goodbye to Diane. I said, I'll see you when the case is arrived. And I'd come home, go to sleep for 6 hours, go back out. It was always like that. Cynthia Pugh, I didn't see Diane for 2 weeks, other than just waking up and falling asleep, and that's just the way things used to be. And we still do pretty good on them, though. But it's not the same.
No.
Is there,
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Bill. Go ahead.
is there up until now? Is there, like, when you look back and say this is the case that really defines my time in office? Is there one
Well,
particular?
Let me give you three. No,
Okay.
let me give you four if I can. I'll start with Mad Dog Allen.
Yes. Yep.
Mad Dog, who Jimmy and you remember, Billy, was involved in 8 homicides, never prosecuted for any of them. Now, very, very few people are intimately involved with one homicide victim. This guy was involved with 8.
Mhm.
None of them occurred on my watch. Then his wife was stabbed to death, and the little boy was missing. And I remember this clearly because it was the first time that I publicly clashed with the then chief of police about videotaping. They were opposed to videotaping, and I said, look, videotaping, this is in the 80s. I said, videotaping is the wave of the future. And we videotaped 6 hours of Mad Dog being interviewed. So the crime occurs on day 1. The interview occurs 2 weeks later, and the little boy's body is found 2 weeks after that, therefore 4 weeks after the murder.
Yeah, I remember that.
I eventually indicted him for both and played the 6 hours of videotape for the jury during the 2.5-month trial. It was against Eddie Mencken, of all people.
Right. Yep.
God rest his soul.
Yes.
And I remember during my summation, I rolled the ancient, VHS recorder in front of the jury, and they visibly rolled their eyes and I obviously picked up on what I said. Relax. It's not going to be 6 hours. It's going to be about 15 seconds, and you could have heard a pin drop. What 15 seconds? What's so important? And the detective, Jerry Soblowski, looks at Mad Dog and says, what do you think about your son? And Mad Dog says, he was a very important part of my life. And
boy.
I hit the stop button, and I said, he stuttered over one word in 6 hours, and the word was. He referred to his son in the past tense. And I thought that was my best trial accomplishment. In terms of defining me, the Juanita Hoyt case, clearly it changed the way that children's deaths are investigated. It helped reduce the SIDS rate by 50% in America because we no longer relied on this quack, Dr. Steinschneider, and we began to adopt the, I think it was New Zealand and Australia method of putting your babies back to sleep on their backs. And the SIDS death rate since Juanita Hoyt was convicted has been cut in half in America. And I'm not taking credit for all of that, but I'm certainly taking credit for some of it. I'm very proud of that. Then we have the case of Anthony Broadwater, which is not a conviction, but just the opposite. It's an exoneration. And to me, that is as defining of who I am as any conviction I've ever had. Anthony got $5 million from the state. He has a claim pending against the county. I hope he never has to work or worry a day for the rest of his life. What happened to him was a disgrace. And then the last case that defines it, as you know, as you both know, we have a very active cold case squad.
Mm-hmm.
And a number of years ago, we were looking at the death of Marion Fisher. She was a teacher over at JD. She was married to Jack Fisher. They had 2 kids. And when the name came up, there's always a detective there from the agency involved. And the detective said, the husband did it, we just can't prove it. And this was etched in stone. This was the Oracle of Delphi speaking. The husband did it, that's it. And one of the DNA analysts said, well, maybe we should look at some more of the physical evidence that might not have been tested. I said, well, that's a great idea. So the facts against Jack, what made the cop think of Jack, no question, he and Marion got into an argument that night, the night of her death, witnessed by a number of people at a restaurant. She got upset and walked home a little over a mile. When they knocked on the door the next morning, Jack was asleep in his underwear on the couch. The kids were at a babysitter. He said he assumed his wife was upstairs. He came home. He didn't want to argue anymore. His alibi didn't pan out because a couple of neighborhood kids said, no, he didn't come home at that time. He came home much later. Turns out the kids were wrong. And he flunked the lie detector test. So I said, okay, I understand why you think that he did it. And he started saying some goofy things during his, very, very long interrogation. Maybe I blacked out, maybe I heard her or something. So I could understand why they would, be suspicious of the guy. Turns out the DNA came back to a guy by the name of Carlton Gary, who Marion was raped and strangled with her own stockings. Carlton Gary's nickname on death row in Georgia was the Stocking Strangler.
Oh, geez.
And it just happened to be passing through the road.
Oh my gosh.
Right by Nob Hill. So for over 2 decades, this poor Jack was a suspect. And when I called him, it took me 15 minutes to keep the guy on the line. He wanted to hang up, but he was curious. And I said, Jack, I was in high school when your wife was murdered. I had nothing to do with, framing you. Actually, I was in law school. I had nothing to do with framing you or suggesting that you did it. I'm here to give you some incredible information. So I sent him all the information about Carlton Gary, and the rest of the conversation was much more cordial. And he calls me about 2 weeks later, and I hear this partying going on in the background. I hear kids, jumping up. And I go, Jack, what's going on? He says, well, I had a son and a daughter. My son stood by me. My daughter said, you killed mom. I want nothing to do with you. He says, I haven't seen her in years and years and years. And I just met my grandchildren today, and I wanted to call and thank you.
Wow.
And that's why I do what I do.
Now,
Awesome.
Bill, both Bills, we could sit here and he could remember all these cases so specifically. That's what really is amazing to me. I mean, I covered courts for a long time and I forgot a lot, but to remember the cases that affect you that way and remember them in such detail it's amazing to me. Really.
Well, thank you. Your name is Ron Curtis, right? I just want to be sure my memory is sharp.
I hope so. Man. All right. So the most important thing you had to clear if you're going to run again was you had to ask the judge. So the judge is all in, I take it.
She is desperate to have me out of the house on anything that precipitates my activities other than in Lafayette. So yes, she's all in. She's unbelievable. Yeah.
Perfect. Fitz, thank you, man. As always, appreciate it. I hope you run 10 more times. I hope you run until you don't want to run anymore and win and continue as our DA.
Thanks for the kind words. And great to see both you guys. See you soon.
We'll see you, Fitzy. Thanks a
Okay.
lot.
He's something else. He's just the best. So that was before the news broke about everything
Yeah.
else. And I had the interrogation overhead light on. Sorry about that during the interview. Yeah, so this case where the mother's going to be charged, right, with her daughter's death, even though she wasn't driving the car because the child either wasn't in a child seat or um, the child seat wasn't, really anchored to the car correctly, and the child may not have been in the child seat correctly. So it's a terrible, terrible thing um, to go through, but I can see where they're coming from for sure. Tough
And
for
then also that there's no the 18-year-old's not going to be charged in the stabbing.
Yeah, that was interesting too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that video, though, it's it's pretty revealing. Obviously, the guy had a gun, so the other young guy had a knife and defended himself was the outcome of that. So yeah, two very interesting cases that we could have talked to him about, but they happened before we recorded the interview. So we'll have him back and we'll talk about those as we go along. But he's great. He's just a great interview always.
When he retires, I hope he writes a book.
Yeah. Oh boy, man, could he? Geez, and his memory is just incredible for some of these cases.
And the people that he knows too. He knows a ton of people.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's something else, no doubt.
Yep.
Now, like we said before, when we were talking to the mayor of Manoa, we like to back, if you want to say that, local businesses. We've had a long relationship with Leigh's and Steigerwald Court Street area for a long time with Bob, the father of the generation now. Great guy, great store, great meat. So now they're opening a restaurant in Manlius, and it's not a steakhouse, surprisingly. And you should. We'll put the link up, right? Producer.
Yeah,
Bill,
we'll put it up on our Facebook page.
Check out the menu, and I'm surprised that it's not. But you need to go to the website and check it out. But we had the chance to talk with the owner and the creator earlier today. So Steigs opens tonight. It's got to be exciting for you, Jeff, right?
Oh, it's thrilling. I can't believe we made it to this point. It's been 10 months of blood, sweat, and tears. But we're here, we're ready. Things turned out, I think, really great. I think our menu is going to be awesome. I think people are going to love it. And you get the butcher shop experience just like you get when you go down to our Grant Boulevard store.
Yeah, Bill and I love it when local guys, do well, and that's what we really promote here on the podcast. And we're so happy to see this because Leigh's and Steigerwald has been a favorite of ours for forever, no doubt. But there's nothing like opening night, right? I mean, the excitement. I know you had a soft open, and that's great. That's like a party, and everybody's happy. But there's nothing like the thrill of opening night.
No, you're absolutely right, because this is really where the rubber meets the road. Like, we're going to find out, what we still need to work on and where we might have a little, different process issues, but that'll all come very clear very quickly. So, but yeah,
is this something you always want? Is this something you always wanted to do?
I think so. I mean, not, to say always, but, I really enjoyed our experience with the restaurant when we were downtown, the 6-7 years leading up to COVID. We were really more of a lunch joint, which was great, but it was a good experience for us. And since we closed that, I have kind of always had that itch to get back into it. And I think, our stuff and I think our quality kind of, lends itself to that. And I think combining it with the butcher shop makes me feel a whole lot more comfortable. It's what we've done for 90 years. It's been in my family that long. And wow. So I think with that, the restaurant and the butcher shop feeding off of each other just gives me a little bit that much more confidence, that much more, just feeling of, we really are in the right spot, and we're going to do something really cool out here.
Well, talking about the right spot, I mean, Manlius is a perfect spot for you guys. And I think it's, the location's great. The building, I've heard, is spectacular inside. Yeah,
it really came out great. And I think this building, I've lived out in Manlius most of my life, and in the same house now for the past 23 years. We've raised 4 daughters. They've all gone through the FM school district. So I've been by this building, thousands of times in my life. And probably within the last 10 years, I've noticed it and been like, man, that is just such a cool looking building. The windows are amazing. The traffic flow is incredible. I just think, it just kept calling to me, and then it came for sale, and I was like, well, I got to try and put this together. And fortunately, I have had a great support group, great investments and just great investors. And it's just been, it's come together really, really well.
So a place like this, Jeff, it's not just about the food. It's also about the entire experience. So are you guys ready, for that kind of service?
Yeah, I know we're ready for that kind of service. It's different customer service than what we do at the butcher shop. But when it comes right down to it, customer service has been a pillar of our business for 90 years. And I'm obsessed with it. So I think we are going to be more than ready for that challenge. I just think when you put in the outdoor patio, you put in, just the cool environment, the music, the bar, I think you're going to come in and get a great meal or pick up some great steaks or our sausages to take home. And I think you're going to find, it's a really cool vibe in here. Like people are going to be happy and just enjoying themselves. And it's going to be, a little bit louder. And I think it's going to be truly, like you're saying, a unique experience and one that we're more than ready for.
Is the vault still there?
The vault is still here.
Like
it right now is we finished it off enough so that it looks nice and you can go in there and it will be a little overflow seating. There's a secondary part to the vault which has a separate sliding almost like a prison door, which we put all of our backup liquor in. So that's kind of a cool scene. We're going to do something very cool in the vault, but we haven't gotten to that point yet. But right now it's still pretty cool to go in there and you can sit down and you can eat in there if you'd like. So
you could also, the one thing about upscaled and, top tier restaurants is the chef's table experience. And that's something that can go inside of that vault.
That's one of the things that keeps coming up as let's do a bourbon steak tasting type of a deal and get the chef to come right out. And so we're working on it and we want to get that right. So we're not rushing into it, but it's going to be right. It's going to be cool.
Are you good also? Are you going to pay tribute to the history of the name and the family in the restaurant also?
Oh yeah, if you see the pictures of it, I mean, we have a big established in 1936 sign on the butcher shop wall. We have pictures of all the previous owners. So Uncle Louie and Mr. Leigh, who started the business, and then my father and Kurt Leigh Jr. when they were running it.
Yep.
And then we have some old pictures of just different things that have been in that butcher shop, all plaster walls, and there's always going to be that extreme tie to our past and our history.
That is tremendous. I can't wait. Bill and I can't wait.
Your father would have been so proud of this.
Oh yeah.
Well, my father's still alive.
Yep.
He's going to be 85 in October. So, and he just stopped by for a quick little pep talk. So that was good to hear.
So put him on the line, Jeff. Put him on the line.
Well, in true Bob's spirit, he said, if you need any help, I'll do whatever I can do to help you. And so he's always had my back and always been very supportive. And he's just a great guy to have around.
Yeah, we love him for sure. Well, good luck tonight, man, and in the future. And Bill and I will stop by for a steak dinner sometime and say hello. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Come check us out. Thanks so much for having me on.
Anytime.
All right.
Great guy, and it's going to be a great place. Although it's not a steakhouse, like I kind of thought it was. It's not.
Yeah, we kind of. But hey, I like that. I like the concept. Go to I'll put the link up on the Facebook page. You can go to that and
when you go back and listen to this, when he says bourbon and steak dinner, you go. You're gonna hear that. That's hilarious, and that's true though. Well, can you imagine that? Absolutely, yeah. And
I did a bourbon and steak deal at Gordon Ramsay's London restaurant in New York City.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
there was somebody from the United Nations there that day because when he left, we couldn't move. They asked everybody to stay seated, and the Secret Service got out of there. There was a roll of cars outside the door. Out.
Wow, interesting. Never knew who that was. That's cool. So this place is supposed to be really cool inside, but so the whole thing now, right, about places to go to eat or to drink or to see a band or see, do your thing. It's about the vibe. It's all about the vibe now, and that's true. So the places that we like are places that have the laid back vibe, and they accept all ages, and everybody comes and goes, and it's like a place to hang out. They have to have live music or whatever, and a bar, and really good food. So that's what you want. That's what you really want. Not another high end steakhouse, and this is not that. So that's fantastic. Their menu looks awesome. What I saw, it looks fantastic. The thing for me now is, at my age, and Shalene, even, who's much younger than me, but we'd like to have a mixed drink, out. But it's, 12, 13, 14, 15 bucks for one. So you have one, and then that's it.
But it's better knock your socks off.
Yeah, better be good. That's for sure.
Now that $16 that's one Jack and Coke on Broadway in Nashville.
Yeah, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
There's a whole thing going on now. Have you seen this in the news?
Well,
like John Rich from Big and Rich has come out and wants to change the culture of Broadway. It's weird.
Change it how?
The music, the focus of the music is lost, and it's now just like a Vegas drunk, thing.
Well, that's true, right? I mean,
it's true. Yes.
I haven't been there. It is true, right? Okay, because all the big guys bought up all the places, right? And now they open up these huge things, and expensive, and now you can't see like up and coming talent anymore at a little place. It's too bad if that's the case. That's really too.
The one thing every time somebody says, "Hey, I'm going to Nashville," or "Hey, I went to Nashville," I said, "What'd you think?" The first thing out of their mouth is that the prices are insane.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you can't have that. You don't want that. That's bad for tourism. People used to say, so when the ABC bowling tournament was in town the last time, I participated in that with my late father, so that was gratifying for me. But we bowled with a team from Nebraska, right? So we said, what do you think of Syracuse? Now this is a very long time ago, like almost 30 years ago, and they said, it's pretty nice, but it's really dirty. So that's what they go back to Nebraska with, right? Oh, it's nice. We had a good time. It was fun, but man, the city is really dirty. That's not the case anymore, but you don't want that. So at that same time, when you went to Toronto and you came back from there, the first thing that people always said was, it's so clean. That's the first thing people always said about Toronto back then. Everything is so clean because compared to our cities, it is. So you don't want that kind of negative impression for people at all. That's for sure. So
Toronto's a great city.
It is. It's super. Oh yeah. Although I've never been to Montreal, though. I've heard Montreal.
It's a nice city too.
Nice.
When I went, it was 15, 20 years ago. Olympic Park was a mess.
Oh.
Graffiti on the monuments. But I think they've cleaned that up since.
Yeah,
they're thinking about expanding back into Montreal for baseball.
Yeah.
So
they're talking about it. I know Vegas is going to get a team, and who else? Somebody else is going to get a team, and then the NBA is going to expand.
Did you see what happened today with the NBA?
No,
the Lakers sold $12.5 billion to Bob Iger, the old
Disney guy.
CEO of Disney, and Kushner, one of the Kushners.
Oh, okay.
Josh.
Josh Kushner, not Jared.
Josh.
Okay. Josh. Wow.
Yep.
How much?
$12.5 billion.
Unbelievable. So what do you think the Yankees are worth?
Less than that.
I'll give you no. Let me give you a
they're
little
worth more?
Let me give you a clue. So a firm just bought into the Yankees, okay, for $2.9 billion, right? Firms like that are only allowed to own 15%.
Wow.
Yeah. Now
I
that's
thought
Yankees
the Lakers were one of the
enterprises. Okay, that's Yankee Global Enterprises. So it's not just the Yankees; it's the football team in England and it's other things. But that's 15%. So what they did was paid off Yankee Stadium because they had debt on Yankee Stadium. Yankee Stadium is 20 years old almost, I think.
Yep, because I had just moved back there when it was just opening.
Yeah. So they paid it off. So now that debt's gone, and now they have some left over. And so now they're saying next year they're going to go like the Dodgers did and go crazy and get Skubal and whoever else. We'll
Did you
see.
see this new was he shortstop, second baseman the Yankees got?
Yeah,
Boy,
Lombard.
he's great.
The kid they called up,
Yeah,
George Lombard. Yeah, so he's their number one prospect.
exceptional.
Just been waiting. Oh, he is sensational. Yes, Volpe's done. I feel bad for Volpe because he's all
Yeah.
done. Yeah, he's done. He's finished.
Because I watched majority of the Braves Yankee series, and he hit a couple home runs.
Yeah, he's great. He's going to be great. He's not great yet. He's going to be great. And I think that Spencer Jones is going to be very, very good. I think Jason Dominguez is done with the Yankees, so they'll trade him in the offseason probably. There's speculation that Rodon will get traded in a big trade in the offseason because of the pitching that they already have. Now these guys are signed for quite a few years. Like Cole is signed up for this year, and I think 2 more. The rest of the pitching staff is this year and like 3 or 4 more, and then Judge is here forever. Stanton only has a couple left, I think, maybe this year and next year, but they could cut him and eat some of that next year. So he'll come off, and that's a lot of money. But there's a lot of speculation what's going to happen. It's just you use Judge, and it changes the entire lineup, so they can't hit at all.
Right.
They should have won all those Braves games. The pitching that we got is ridiculous. Judge, and that's it.
The one thing about the Yankees has always been they've even though they do spend a lot of money, they've always had a good farm system.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, Jeter came from the system. Bernie came. A lot of those '96 team. Yeah. The Braves got a good system too, but not as good as Yankees have always had a really solid farm system.
Yes,
but they've also had the money too, so they can buy onto it.
Yep. And you have to be smart with your drafting, especially nowadays. The draft is different. You can trade draft picks now, so you have to be very smart. Plus, there's a tiered system for the money that you have to give these guys, and the whole thing is completely different now. But you have to be very strategic. And then there's the overseas pool of money that they go to the Dominican and Venezuela and other places with, and Cuba, and you have to be, very strategic with that money too. The whole thing is just.
Well, there's going to be no baseball next season, but
no, probably not. No, and we're already priced out anyway. NBA, forget about it. NFL, forget about it.
I told you this year the seats that I had for opening day at Truist Park, albeit Atlanta's prices are pretty good across the board, was probably $40 or $50, right around the same area than it was 2 years ago.
That's it. 40 or 50 bucks.
More.
Oh, more. Okay.
2 years. Yeah, I paid about, I want to say 80, 85. Now they were 135 this year.
Right. Yeah, that's, and you buy an NBA team for 12 point whatever billion dollars. What do you think they're going to charge for tickets now? I remember when Jerry Buss was the owner, and he was playing in a celebrity poker tournament. It was probably, 10 years ago. And they started talking about seat prices back then. So the guy said, how much does Nicholson pay, for the seats? And Jerry Buss said 2. And he's like, $200 a game? He said, no, $2,000 a game. That was 10 years ago for courtside seats. So now even for regular people, and even for Syracuse University, you got to buy like a seat license, right? Buffalo seat.
PSL.
Speaking of Buffalo, did you see some of the seats, the obstructed view seats that they sold? One of them you have to look through plexiglass to see the field. Oh my gosh!
And people were paying, thousands of dollars on top of the thousands of dollars that they're paying. Exactly. And now there's a 6% surcharge on all sales inside the stadium that's going to go towards something.
Toward what?
It was a development. Hold on, I was just reading it before we came on.
There's another one where the guy was sitting there and you could see, like, you couldn't see the far end zone. It was like blocked from you. You couldn't see it. So you saw most of the field. For all that money. Oh my gosh.
Erie County is imposing a 6% surcharge on all purchases made at the new Highmark Stadium for capital improvements. Money goes into a capital improvement.
They're talking about roads and bridges and stuff like that,
I guess. But when you're 5 chicken wings, $18.
Yeah, I saw that. No, I'll never.
I
go.
haven't gone to a professional football game in a long time.
I've never been to one, and I won't. No.
I've been to a few Giants games. I've been to a few Buffalo games.
Wow.
I don't remember, being that crazy. I remember the first time I went to Yankee Stadium. I remember it being like insanely priced for food.
Yes.
But when I go to Atlanta, it's not. You can get a beer for $6.
No way.
Yeah, there's a couple places in Atlanta you can get a beer for $6.
Yankee Stadium's like 13, 14, 15.
They had one year they had it was a bat. They filled the bat the first time for $22, and each refill was $8.
That's great.
Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. But
And I think the Falcons have the best prices for food and drink in the NFL. I think there's a $5 beer for the Falcons game, and a $2 hot dog or a $3 hot dog.
I'll have to ask my friend Mark. I'm sure he's been to both many times, so have to find out about that. That's pretty good. That's really
And that's
good.
a fairly new stadium too.
That's
In
taking care of your
Atlanta.
fans.
Yep.
Very few teams, unfortunately, do that now.
And it's
Before
not
we
like
go
they
to the next team-
stink. They went to the Super Bowl not too long ago.
Yeah,
they're
no,
not the
they're
greatest team in the world, but I don't think they're hurting to get fans in the door.
Hey, watching, I would love to see an NFL game, but not if I have to sit, way, way up. No. Get a hold of Brent Axe and see if he can get us sideline tickets for a home game, preferably,
Bills.
Like Giants or Jets or something. Sideline, podcaster. We're podcasters.
That's right. We're media now.
That's it. Just
Again,
media.
5 years ago today, I was in Kona, Hawaii, singing at my now friend's wedding in Hawaii at Papa Kona Resort Restaurant on Ali'i Boulevard in Kona, Hawaii. And tomorrow is my 5th anniversary where I got married on the beach in Hawaii.
What else happened there? That's right. Wow. 5 years?
5 years ago.
Wow. Congratulations.
We keep saying every year we're going to go back because there was so much going on in that trip because I did the wedding and we didn't have a lot of time to just see things.
No, I bet you didn't. Nope. But it's not cheap getting there from here.
No, it's not.
Long trip. So way back in the day, this is after the salad days of my youth. I won a trip to Hawaii from the radio station. The radio station used to give away trips every year.
I remember the story you telling us.
And I traded it for my honeymoon in St. Lucia because it was too far. And then we had to give up a day anyway, getting to St. Lucia. So we should have kept the Hawaii thing, which is ridiculous.
That was the longest I'd ever flown. And I've been to Alaska too. But
from here, did you fly from here and then go to did you stop in California like overnight or just?
No, I think we did. Where did we? New Mexico, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I think we went from like here to Atlanta to New Mexico, maybe, and then off to Hawaii. I can't remember where that last jaunt was.
Is that like 2 days of travel?
Almost.
Yeah.
It's at least 24 hours straight, because you got the time. It's a 6-hour time difference.
Right. That's true.
And the airport in Kona, it's open. It's open air airport.
Yeah. It's like that in the Caribbean too.
Yeah, it's cool. Like the little desks that you go to check in are huts.
That's funny. Kona, Hawaii, man, you were fortunate. That's for sure.
Yes.
Very fortunate.
I was the place I stayed was right across the street from the Kona Coffee Factory.
Oh, no way.
And then there was a Kona beer brewery, restaurant place right near us.
Could you smell the coffee? Like outside of the
yeah.
I love
the smells and the cleanliness air and there was a daily farmers market. There was a daily farmers market in the parking lot across from where I was staying. We'd go there and just get fruit every morning. Do the apple bananas, these little bananas this big. They're the sweetest bananas you can ever get.
Sounds
flowers. Brandy bought her flowers for the ceremony at the farmer's market.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
Fantastic. Now, before we go, are you watching anything interesting?
We talked about the bomb. Did we talk about the bombing last week? The Pan Am 103 was great
Yes.
if
Yep.
you want to see that. But I saw this movie this week
Yeah.
that
Yeah. What's the name of it?
knocked my socks off. Let me get it's kind of a weird
I think we want to watch this weekend, I think.
let me see. It's called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die.
Okay.
And it's a guy comes from the future to warn people that technology is going to end the world.
You
And
this time jumper stuff. You must have been in heaven.
I loved it. And normally I'm not into like ultra chaotic movies,
Right.
but because this movie was chaotic, made it the way the lead actor dude, you know him, it's Sam Rockwell.
Oh yeah, I
He
like that.
plays the dude from Time. Awesome. And then the girl that's in Ted Lasso that you're watching now is the main girl in it.
Well, which
she
girl?
was also in that show Vinyl.
Not Sarah Waddington, right? The big blonde, or is the other girl?
Haley. No, she's the other girl. What was her name?
Sam Rockwell. Did he dance at one point?
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Like Goofy though.
He dances in every movie. Every
Really
single he's done. He dances. Yep.
Juno Temple is her name, by the way.
Oh yeah. She's great. She's the goofy girl in Ted Lasso. Well, not goofy, which ends up being smart.
And I call it the Tarantino, where it stops and it goes and like focuses on one of the characters to give you the background story of them.
I love that.
I love that.
Yeah,
but it like halfway through it just becomes this chaotic, crazy thing that but it works and it's so much fun and watching it all unravel, and then the third act where you find out exactly what's going on. It's so out there that it works.
We'll check it out. Well, I think that sounds fun. Sounds like a lot of fun. Like I said, we're watching Ted Lasso. We're catching up with everyone else in the world because I thought it was a very trite premise, so I really wasn't interested in it. It's hilarious. The writing is just unbelievably funny. So I'm late to the party. Shalene and I are late to the party, and we love it. We both love it. It's the writing. I just can't believe the writing is that good. And I'm sure a lot of it's improv on the part, especially the experienced comedians. But man, it's so good. So I'm glad we're checking that out. But we'll check out that movie, and I will check out that Farm Stand. And I'll give you a review.
And that's on Hulu. If anybody listening,
Hulu. Okay,
it's Hulu. It's on Hulu right now.
There's also a new documentary on Manson and the murders, and it's on. I believe it's on Netflix, and it's from a little bit different perspective. The guy who has done it this time has unearthed some documents that weren't unearthed before. He has video of Manson being interviewed in prison, but his contention is Manson was a racist and wanted to start a racial war, and then it was just really a bunch of idiots who just screwed up. And well, they weren't, the people they went to see weren't even there. Not to see, to kill, weren't even there. So they just killed who was there. Did you see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Tarantino. So that's he's in the house. Brad Pitt's in the house when they come in, and what he does to him. That's the Manson murders. That's the crew. So the Spahn Ranch is where Manson and all those girls, those women, and a few guys were, Tex and those guys. That's the Spahn Ranch. They killed Mr. Spahn, obviously, and took over the ranch and went from there. So that's the whole Manson thing. But that movie is really, really good. I think it's one of his absolute best.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah. And now the new one, it follows Brad Pitt's character from that movie. So that's going to be awesome as well.
And is he directing that one too?
I don't think so. I think he's done. I think
so too.
But I think he wrote it.
I think that's why they released the Kill Bill the way he wanted it. He always wanted Kill Bill as one movie, and they finally released it.
They did?
Yeah.
See that. I'd really like to see that because that's
4 hour.
Yeah, I don't care how long it is. I'd love to see director's cuts of movies because that was their vision. I mean, that's what they wanted to have happen with the movie. Sometimes it meshes with the writers, and sometimes it doesn't. But I like to see director's cuts. Does Criterion do his stuff?
No, on because it was such a big, and so that just that it's like the universal label, it's just the movie house labels that put that stuff out. And they should. Tarantino would deserve it would be great to have some Tarantino stuff on Criterion just to
Oh,
get the extras,
absolutely.
because that's what's missing from the Kill Bill thing. There's a whole bunch of outtakes and stuff that people thought that were going to be put on this, and it's not on there. So maybe
Oh,
it's just waiting. The best thing would be just put them all out at once in one big box set.
yeah, that would be
They're
awesome.
doing that with Kubrick Criterion.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you imagine a Tarantino box set? Oh man, what that would go for? Wow, it would be good though.
$400.
Probably. Or crisp. That's right. Okay, so no video this week, right? But next week
No, we'll have somebody up.
we'll have somebody up. So take care of yourselves this week, and God willing, we're all back at it next time on the Jim Reith Show Unleashed podcast.